What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here, back with another video, wearing shades because I'm blind right now with the sunlight. I don't go outside. We're getting a tan here. We're on the rooftop. It's the end of the world. I hope you're doing well. We're talking today about quarantine gains. It's a terrible joke. We're just gonna roll with it. Volume, potentially killing your muscle building potential. Too much volume, too much fucking perspective we have up here on this rooftop. I've had time to think, and sometimes that can be a dangerous thing. And I've been training now for the last 4 to 5 months. Gyms are finally open here in Toronto. Felt amazing. I was training in my backyard. I had that pull-up tree, which is just perfect for pull-ups, and so the back was getting yacked. But when taking a look at my former training, I was surprised. I was actually astonished, some might say, that I didn't look like total dog shit after largely reducing my volume and, of course, because I'm training at home, changing the intensity. But this isn't just me, and this isn't just anecdotal evidence. In fact, I can say, just speaking a little bit more anecdotally, I was surprised and impressed at some of the people coming back to the gym, Fortis, where I go to, where some honestly look better because they're, powerlifters. They're used to being maybe a little fluffier when they're trying to lift that big weight. They're doing home workouts. They leaned out a little bit. They actually look, overall, their body composition has certainly improved. So what I would say for everyone out there is we want to take a look at a framework for hypertrophy. Eric Helms, I should say, Dr. Eric Helms, PhD. We got to give the full title here. He published a fantastic article in Mass Monthly Application Strength Sports. I'll link that in the description. Eventually, it will be made public. I've been told by Eric, but basically, how to keep making gains. And this is a question we all care about. And sometimes we feel we're not making enough progress, and that is very relatable. And I'd say one of the key variables, if you've been paying attention to this channel, could potentially be doing too much volume. And there is such a thing. There is that relationship, right, between hypertrophy, building muscle, and volume to a certain point. And so if we just take a look at it, it's kind of like this, where you start off, if you do no volume whatsoever, so you don't train at all, of course you're not going to build any muscle. And then there's a certain sweet spot. As you keep increasing volume, you'll keep experiencing more and more gains. And there's a lot of factors that determine ultimately the volume you should be doing. But then there actually, and they have found in studies, there's such a thing as too much volume, where you'll get diminishing returns, and then from there, not even diminishing returns, it'll hinder your progress, we can say. And so what I would want everyone to look at moving forward, when we talk about the quality of your training, one of the ways we can have a metric to assess that would be total volume load, which takes into account then the load lifted, the weight lifted. So we have sets times reps times load. And to make this easy, because there have been arguments in the past, like, oh, like total volume load, what if I do the leg press instead of doing the squat? Like on the leg press, I could do 800 pounds. On the squat, I'm doing 300 pounds. Cool. We would look at the same movement and the total volume load in that movement over time. And there are some really interesting things to be noted, because let's just do this simple thought experiment. Join me on this. If right now you're doing whatever, you're doing like 10 sets. Let's say you do 10 sets on back day, right? Back and biceps, but you do 10 sets for back. Okay. It's like, well, add another set. Add another set for back. Okay, cool. I stop progressing. What do I do? Add another set. Okay, so we're at 12. We keep doing this, right? We're at 12, 13, 14, 15. If we're using, let's say 100 pounds for 10 repetitions, that's 1,000 total pounds lifted. If we went from 10 total sets to 15 total sets, we went from 10,000 to 15,000 total pounds. That's a huge, dramatic volume increase. And the way we want to think about it is a little bit more like intensity when it comes to powerlifting, where we modulate it gradually, slowly over time. And one of those variables when we talk about the total volume lifted is the weight you're actually lifting. And this is where, one, you have that satisfaction, that adrenaline when you're hitting a PR. But taking a look at the load on the bar is one of the surest ways to make sure you're making progress. So you're taking a look, you're like, okay, so I did like 270 on the bench for a set of 5. Well, let me try 275. So that might only be, if you're doing a 5x5, what? It's like 25 pound increase or 125 pounds over a few sets. That might not sound like a lot, but we're actually taking a look at the key driver now for hypertrophy, which is ultimately progression and how we choose to progress. Because even from a time standpoint, there is a law of diminishing returns when it comes to doing more and more sets, where, okay, we go from 10 sets to 20 sets, but wait a second, how long are we spending now at the gym? We went from an hour to 2 hours. If I'm spending double the amount of time, am I getting double progress? Or would it be better to train harder instead, to lift a little bit more weight, make sure on the accessories we're not, being lackadaisical with it, that we're actually focusing, we're bringing that intention, and we're getting an RP that's at least, RP 7, 8, things like that, and making sure we have a high quality of training. That makes a lot more sense. And the last point right here, if you've been thinking, and maybe you've had time to reflect too with your quarantine and what you've been doing, is that when you're training for a long period of time in a session, a singular session, no matter who you, I don't care who you are. You could be Ronnie Coleman, okay? You could be, yeah, buddy, ain't nothing but a peanut. But if you're going on 2 hours or 3 hours, the quality of the workout's gonna drop. Even if mentally you're there, you're going to be exhausted. So we have to manipulate and we have to manage all these variables. So what should we be focusing on? Quality of the workout, and one of the metrics we use for that would be total volume load, where the emphasis then is on essentially getting stronger and then slowly increasing reps, and then with time, sets. And I would say for everyone that wants to get more yacked, total volume load will increase in an absolute sense over time, whereas your total sets after a certain standpoint, yeah, it might go up a little bit, but you know, once you have 14, 15, 16 sets for a body part in a session, is that gonna go up? Likely not. You need to get stronger. So we need to look at the big picture. We need to look at what we're doing, and that's where, once again, if you're at home and you don't have access to a gym, proximity to failure is one of the ways that we measure intensity of a set. So we're training hard enough to produce those gains, and we want to avoid all these pitfalls. Not doing too little, not doing too much, not doing, you know, a low enough quality of work so you're not actually stimulating anything whatsoever. All these variables we manipulate, but something I want to talk about today after reflecting on things would be total volume load as one of the key indicators of the quality of your workout, which will lead to better gains. Anyways, I got to get out of here. It's been what? 5 minutes? I already have a tan, okay? This is my yearly tan. We're out. Thank you so much for watching this video. We have actually a fantastic entire podcast that goes all the way in on this topic and so much more. A progression framework for hypertrophy with myself and Eric Helms. I'll link that in the description. Also, stay tuned this Friday, Rascal Apparel. We're dropping the new threads. The big August 22nd launch is happening. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked the video, make sure to like the damn video, and I'll see all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. Peace.
Eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables, eat your fucking vegetables.